This is
Essential.
This is Ascential Audio.
Welcome to The Money Pot, our podcast from Money 2020. I'm Keisha Allison, head of content at Money 2020 USA, and I'm here today with Rachel Morrissey, one of our content producers on the team. Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Keisha. I have been away for a week. I went on vacation and I'm recovering from a cold. So I left you all alone to man the fort.
Yeah, you did. And as you know, we're knee-deep in research for the conference in October. And as I've been talking to the industry, the themes that we're going to need to focus on are becoming more and more apparent.
So what are some of the main ideas?
Well, there's a lot around open banking and small business, but the one that's popped up early was the ideas behind sustainability. Even before the BlackRock announcement, it's been popping up in our conversations.
It has been part of a lot of my conversations too. ESG, or environmental, social, and governance measure, has been a big part of my research. And BlackRock's announcement that it would divest from all thermal coal exposure was a big part of that. Also, in our last episode, the report on millennial women in finance made it clear that millennials care deeply about having their investments match their values.
Yeah, value-based banking and investing is raising all types of investing concerns. The report also made it clear that millennials really like to invest in brands that they identify with. Sustainability is affecting fashion, tech, and lots of other industries. Makes sense it would affect financial services too.
Especially as financial services become more embedded in other brands, and beyond banks and fintechs. I mean, the values of that brand will have to echo throughout all of their services. And in that spirit, we spoke to Andrei Cherney, who is CEO of Aspiration Bank. Aspiration Bank is one of those neobanks or challenger banks that has a really strong social mission. And they have created an app that allows each person to measure their personal impact. They're calling it an AIM score.
We've always believed that one of the biggest challenges people were facing in the financial industry was a misalignment of incentives and misalignment of values, that their bank was not on the same side of the table with them when it came to how they were being treated, but also how that bank was acting around the concerns that they had, whether it was around ethics or environmental sustainability. One of the things we've created at Aspiration is what we call AIM, the Aspiration Impact Measurement, which is really a way that people, for the first time ever, can see their own personal sustainability score and see not only how they're doing based on where they're shopping on a daily basis, but how those purchasing decisions are having an impact on people and the planet, and how the different places where they're shopping treat the environment or their employees and how their competitors do. And so that means if you're walking down the street and there's a CVS and a Walgreens, or there's a McDonald's and a Burger King, you can not only make a decision on which one you want to go to based on the usual metrics, cost or quality or which one's closest, but make a decision based on conscience as well.
So, this bank has decided to empower people so they're in the know and aware of their impact on the planet.
Yeah, essentially. His argument is that American spending has a huge impact.
Americans spend $36 billion a day as consumers, and those daily spending decisions that we make, that we sometimes don't even think about, have an enormous impact. And it gives us as consumers the ability to really influence the way that these companies, these businesses are treating their employees or treating the environment.
So how does this work? What metrics are they using?
Well, they've split it into two main categories, people and the planet.
On the people score, we're looking at questions around employee pay, employee benefits. We're looking at the equality of those benefits based on gender or sexual orientation. We're looking at diversity. On the planet side, we're looking at, of course, waste emissions and energy efficiency and renewable energy use.
So what they've done is taken all these different metrics, assigned them scores, and broken it down for you inside their app?
Yeah. And they've integrated it into their banking. So you can see what your own score is. You can see both the scores of the company and You yourself, the consumer, is getting a score.
So that sounds good, but I wonder about a couple things. First, this is an interesting conundrum for financial services and investing teams. Their obligation has always been to make as much money for their clients as possible, and therefore make as much money for themselves. This can definitely complicate that.
Yeah, the ethical guideline for investing has always been make as much money for the client as possible. And as these institutions go green, it means they'll have more than that single concern. But Andrei says that a lot of the investments are proving to be more fruitful.
When it comes to investment, we've seen our Aspiration Redwood Fund perform incredibly well thus far. Over the past 3 years, it's beaten the performance of the S&P 500. So actually done better than if you had invested in the stock market.
Yeah, I think these companies are seeing an opportunity here for long-term gains. They aren't simply losing money to be environmentally friendly. They're playing the long game here. They think these investments are more profitable in the long run.
Yep, I agree. I look at these decisions and think these companies see the writing on the wall. They want to be a step ahead in investing in the future, but I don't want to be too cynical. It probably fits with their values as much as their customers.
It's what we believe in, and we believe it's the right thing to do, and it's the kind of business we want to be running. But it's also clearly where people's expectations are going, especially people who are 40 and younger, but you're seeing it across the board, where people are much more coming to the marketplace for any kind of product with the expectation that the places they're going to be spending their money with are ones that are going to be held to higher and higher standards when it comes to how they treat their employees, when it comes to how they treat the planet.
True. Consumers are expecting more transparency and more honesty than ever before, and they're less forgiving when companies fall short. When we think about scandals breaking around certain brands and we see the long-term impact, it's making a difference. And that's going to increase with the great wealth transfer that's coming.
Yeah, we are anticipating a huge generational wealth transfer.
So the boomers are going to die, and as they do, the millennials who've lived poorer than their parents are expected to inherit a lot of wealth.
I love how you put that. Boomers are dying and millennials get all their money.
They think of service differently and want services that are much more digital first.
And making values-based choices is definitely part of the new equation.
Sustainable decisions are smart decisions. There's a lot of people in America who, when they think about their money, aren't just thinking about the dollars and cents, but they're also thinking about the impact of those dollars and cents. And that people don't believe that they should have to trade one for the other. And so for us, it's really thinking about how do we serve our customers. We're a company that puts customers first, and so whether it's offering deposits that are fossil fuel free and firearm free, or our AIM score, or something like our Planet Protection program that makes all your driving carbon neutral by providing carbon offsets for every time you buy gasoline with your Aspiration card. There's all kinds of products and services we can be offering our customers that not only are good for their wallet, but good for the world as well. And that's the way we judge ourselves.
Wait, they have a card that allows carbon offsets when you buy gas? That kind of thing almost makes me want to drive.
Well, except we're in New York and we never want to drive. But if Uber wants to get a product that gives them a good name, I see a deal here.
Maybe we should make a call.
Money 2020 by day, deal makers by night.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. Is that program popular?
Yeah, it seems to be. I think that all these programs and moves are really tapping into a psychological factor.
We're seeing people really respond to it because it's a program that gives people peace of mind. Not everybody's going to have an electric vehicle, but with a simple subscription to this Planet Protection program, you can have the peace of mind that every time you're getting behind the wheel, your driving isn't hurting the planet. And for a lot of people, that is something that's really exciting.
I think for a lot of people, Banking that is both in accordance to their own values and concerns and creates products that help them live those values is really powerful.
Yeah, and as I think about my kids, I want to do well for them. But I also want them to have a good place to live with clean air and water. I think this type of reasoning is going to be a big draw for a lot of people. Well, that is this week's Money Pot.
We want to thank Andrei Cherney from Aspiration Bank for being our guest this episode, and Roland Bodenham, our fellow producer for this podcast.
Money 2020 USA is opening up their call for content in a few weeks, and Money 2020 Europe is coming up in June. Get your tickets now.
And go and subscribe to the Money Pot wherever you listen to your podcasts.
This is
Ascential.
This is Ascential Audio.